Hello everybody, hope you're doing well. Welcome to the second video of Tuesday. That's probably be the final video, I'm not quite sure, as I prepare a lot of guides and information for the upcoming events. There's a lot of solo events. So we're going to do a rewards totals video, which I did say in the video and have said recently I really need to do. I need to find out like what Kabam are putting out to this community when it comes to rewards, whether or not we feel happy about them, disappointed, all those things need to be kind of like, but we need data and information, and of course everything needs to be kind of locked together. Hopefully by this evening I've sorted out the background, need to change camera placement, so we've got the Christmas decorations up and things look a bit more festive, which just pop into the shops a bit later on to kind of get that last bits of stuff. So I want to get more of a festive vibe in the background here. I've got my Christmas jumpers. I've got a new Marvel Christmas jumper, and I'll talk about some of the live streaming around Christmas that I'm going to be doing here on the channel because I booked some time off, so I'm happy about that. But in any case, we need to talk about side quest stuff. Of course, you've seen the forum thread, which gives you an information of like how many. We've got a lot of solo events, a lot of objectives coming, and I think it's important to be ready for these. So the events, okay, solo objectives. First of all, we've got letters from summoners, which gives rewards. We've got good this year. We have got bad this year. We've got quest selectors, which is something that I'll need to cover in a further video because you don't have to select the progression for you. Like here's an example. There's a point where you can grab either a tier 3 alpha catalyst fragments, or you can grab a 6-star hero crystal shards between Paragon and Thronebreaker. So it's like you don't have to choose you don't have to choose Paragon. You can be like, well, I want rank up materials, so you might be like, I'll go grab rank up materials. So it's more Paragonish based problems, but still it's something, a video that will be intended. And it will look for anybody really. I shouldn't say it's just Paragon, but that's kind of the choice of going, hey, do you want shards as a Paragon player, or do you want part of rank up materials? It's up to you on that decision. But we'll cover that in this video. Silver and gold solo event, so you get an idea of that stuff. By the way, I will be talking about this in the MCN tomorrow. Together for Christmas. Together for the holiday, sorry. No, it's quite literally Cratchit, you're working through Christmas when it comes to Alliance Wars. You have to Alliance Wars through it to get these rewards, which, look, they're not overly spicy, but at the same time they do factor in. Together for the holidays, that factors into the information we're going to go off. And 9th anniversary. Oh, there's more. And the arenas. I've only done one of the arenas. And the reason that I've only done one of the arenas, I've done the arena itself, and also I've not factored in the 5-star version, only the 6-star version of this particular one. So the 6-star one there. The reason that I've only put in the 6-star one is there's no units in the 5-star one, so I haven't covered it. Interestingly as well, I've covered the solo events for Cavalier, the solo event that's for you farming arena. I've done it for Cavalier, but Cavalier players will be very disappointed by this, as you don't get extra units. Talk about that in a minute when we look at the full results. And finally, the solo objective called the 9th anniversary choice champ objectives. So all of these particular events I've covered in this spreadsheet, which we're going to go over right now. So this spreadsheet is being built out, and I will put a link to it in the description. It will be your side quest one for the month. Do bear in mind, it's not finished. I've literally not finished it, but I want to give you as much information as possible. I've just started working on the objectives and solo event, and as well I've got to work on a tab for the selector scenario. So do bear with me. It does take time to build this spreadsheet out, but so many people support it on a monthly basis. I will obviously, I will kind of like, I will build it out. So look out for videos to kind of update you on stuff. And of course, yeah, we'll build it out. Something to note is that I've not included battle chips and the Banquet Event and any unknown event for December. This, as I said, is including good for this year, bad for this year, letters from the champion, silver and gold event, together for the holidays, 9th anniversary calendar, 6-star arena, anniversary arena, solo events. All those are included. We'll start at the beginning and we'll start with Cavalier. These are the total rewards, which there may be well, I know, I think that I'm pretty solid on these being kind of like right for this particular information. Tier 5 class catalyst wise for Cavalier players, you might be slightly disappointed. There's 15% and also a 25%, so that gives you, what, 40% right there? And I don't think you get anything else. Even the winter calendars or the ninth, well, saying that, I don't think Kabam have put out the winter calendars yet, and that's something I might have missed off here. The winter calendars, which in previous years have been very good, maybe something that's put in announced within the Banquet event. And the reason that I think it's in there is probably because it includes, which I think it included last year, the greater Banquet crystals. It gave out a few of them, so that could be very important, and also that'll factor into some points acquisition for the event itself. So we'll kind of come back to that at a later date. Not much in a range of like 6-star signature stones. There's only 5 for Cavalier players. The biggest screw job feels like it's units. So you do not get, as part of the, if I'm right, the arena solo event. It's either, I think it's the arena solo event for Cavalier players. You don't get an additional 190 units, I think it is. You have to settle for the 140 units you can access from doing the 6-star celebration arena. There's still a good amount of Winter Wonderland shards, but let's face it, it's not as much as it used to be. And in previous months, which I mentioned in a video previous, you were getting about 50, 60k's worth. And we seem to be only getting like a slim amount. So I don't know what's going on with Kabam with giving out those. Only 770,000 gold. Unfortunately, your top up will have to be going to do things like incursions, which is a bit disappointing. And yeah, from what I've gathered together information wise, it's quite meh when it comes to being a Cavalier player nowadays. And I would say that, like, this is why I think Kabam want to push you into the Thronebreaker territory. So let's do that. Let's go over to Thronebreaker now, through the magic of moving the screen to the side. So on a Thronebreaker perspective, look, there's some alright stuff. You get some 6-star signature stones. 15, I guess that's the thing. Look, selectors wise, as I said, you select what you select, you do some of the solo events, and this feels to me like it's on a par on a monthly basis. When I say on par, I mean, like, I don't see it being like anything more or anything less, like in a golfing term. Like, it's not exactly a hole in one, but it's not, and it's not exactly a bogey. It's kind of like, it's par. It's just, this was par. Tier 2 alpha wise, you get 11. Tier 5 basic wise, you get 4. 6-star shards, I think, is when you see the most interesting thing, because it's like 50k from doing the various events and solo events as well. As I said, like, this is why I think it's so important for me to be always keeping up to date with these side quest rewards, just to find out where Kabam are with adding and taking away. And to be honest, I don't think it's kind of made much of it hasn't evolved quite as much. I think the relic shards has definitely evolved, with more of that being given out, but Kabam has stopped developing them at the moment. So it kind of feels like, well, what's the kind of like point for them? Is there any extra point to kind of like going at them? You do get a 6-star awakening gem, which I think is great. That's fantastic. It's good to grab. And yeah, like the units, you do get the same as Paragon, where you get that 330 by doing the solo event for arena and the arena itself, the 6-star one. So that's good. And I must admit, like, in a month where you need 300 units to get a free banquet, not free banquet, free in bunny ears, free, an opportunity to get another greater banquet crystal, that would be your in there for that 330 that you get from it. The gold is okay, it's 2.240 mil, so that's all right, but it's not a huge amount. And I think gold needs to be kind of like ramped up, especially for side quests, because the cost to rank up champions is so much. Obviously, Kabam's answer to that is go do incursions. All right, Kabam. Thanks for that. But yeah, there's nothing when it comes to tier 6 class catalyst, which looks a bit disappointing, but definitely some rank ups for relics, which, some people might like. And as well, the tier 3 alpha and tier 6 basic from when I was Thronebreaker doesn't seem to have evolved in any kind of case on a side quest monthly basis, which is slightly disappointing. But again, this is Kabam saying, look, we just put in Valiant, we want you to push to Paragon. That's what Kabam is saying. They might say that specifically, but that's what they're intending for you to do. However, if you're Paragon, of course, one thing as well to point out is I haven't included the Valiant calendar into this, mainly because I can't kind of like alter this so much. So I will now change this through the magic of clicking a button. Paragon Plus, not ink Valiant. I'll just put not ink Valiant. Maybe I should put Valiant calendar because, you know, people will say, actually, Richard, I don't think you've properly said that in the way that it needs to be. Not including Valiant calendar. There we go. Okay, right. Let's look at Paragon Plus, not including Valiant calendar, progression title. Tier 2 alpha wise, you get 10. Tier 5 basic wise, 8. But you do get a good sizable amount of 5-star relic shards, which is nice. I picked up a nice Ghost Rider one, which I'm really excited to use with Deathless Guillotine. Tier 6 class catalyst wise, you get the equivalent to 155% worth of a tier 6 class catalyst, whether or not it's selectors or it's a case of like the fragment crystals. So there's you know, some joy there. Shout out to Kabam, I think, for putting a good chunk in. Oh, no, did they actually put it in 6-star celebration? I think they put tier 5 class catalyst. It's either one of the two. They put a good chunk in different places. Tier 6 basic wise, you get 2. Tier 3 alpha wise, you get 2. So it's kind of like even Stevens for that. Winter Wonderland shards, as I said, like I'm always quite disappointed that Kabam never kind of bump up how they did before. You know, as I said, we've had 60k, 70k's worth. It is what it is. Going down, this is interesting. So the amount of 7-star shards, if you choose the selectors, obviously the Paragon selectors, the tier 5, whatever it is, you can get upwards of 8, well, you can get 8,000, not upwards, 8,000 7-star shards, 60,000 6-star shards. You know, if you do 6 basics, and that could be like 6 dupes, that could be an additional volume of 7-star shards, possibly not. 1,000 6-star relic shards compared with previous months. I think that's okay. Yeah, if we didn't have the Banquet Event and the Winter Calendar, that normally drops towards the end of it, and as well the solo events and alliance events that kind of tie into Banquet Event, I would just look at this and going like, okay, this is like a standard month with a couple of added extras. Apart from that, it doesn't feel like, and it doesn't look like, and the data doesn't pinpoint that we've seen a massive rise. And this is something, as I said in the video earlier today, we will need to see this more as Valiant is more of a prevalent and a widely had progression title. Whether or not Kabam have to, you know, put in a new difficulty, and this is, as I said in that previous video, this is why I think that Kabam might have taken away Sector 6, not Sector 6, Threat Level 6, because of, or done the threat levels in a different way, because they have to put in the Valiant one because the rewards are not matching where players are with their expectations of the game. It's things like the daily Valiant crystal, which is now super spicy item, completely out of nowhere. And of course, that will be more things that Kabam will need to monitor ongoing. But what's everyone's thoughts on the rewards totals? Check out this spreadsheet. It will be adapted, as I said, it's a work in progress. Thanks for the support. Check out some other content located on screen, and I'll see you all soon. Much love and goodbye.